Ahoy! And welcome to Manning Overboard, Happy Hour with Hotcakes and the Captain, a show about the good and liquid life,
where we talk about bars, bartending, and booze.
She's Hotcakes.
And he's the Captain.
Thanks for coming aboard. Now, let's go overboard. Ahoy, and welcome to Manning Overboard, Happy Hour with Hotcakes and the Captain. I'm the Captain, Rich Manning, and with me as always is my lovely and beautiful and talented wife, Heather Hotcakes. So, Hotcakes.
Hi.
How you doing?
I am so happy today.
Good. What are we drinking? You should be happy because that looks like a lovely cocktail in front of you.
We are very lucky to be drinking these cocktails today. So, as always, we drink in honor of our guests. And so for you, my dear, I have made the, oh boy, here we go, my Spanish. Feliz los cuatros.
Felices los cuatro.
Felices los cuatros.
Mm-hmm. Los cuatro.
Okay. Which is a little bit of bourbon, a little bit of rum, a little bit of Pedro Jimenez sherry, some bar spoon of scotch, and tiki bitters.
That sounds lovely. You got a cocktail with scotch in it. Impressive.
Yeah, I got you a cocktail with scotch in it. Now that's for you.
Beauty. Oh,
and
yes.
then mine is just an El Pastor daiquiri, which I found on the YouTubes, which is a little bit of simple, some pineapple. Originally it was supposed to be pineapple liqueur, but I used, forgive me, Malibu pineapple rum.
Delicious.
Cilantro.
Quite frankly, sounds good.
So, before we drink, why don't you introduce our guest to us, please?
Yes, I would love to. Okay. Today's guest is Michael Aredes, and he is the bartender at the award-winning New York City establishment Superbueno.
Yay!
If you've set foot in Superbueno, and really, if you are in New York, you really need to do that post-haste because it's fabulous. There's a decent chance that you've seen Michael behind the stick, being the consummate host, making drinks and taking care of the guests' needs, with really rocking one of the most warmest smiles in the industry. Just he's so great, and one of the best laughs too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's no wonder that he was a top 10 finalist in the U.S. Bartender of the Year at Tales of the Cocktail this year. And he is also a member of TOTC's Spirited Awards Committee and is the mastermind behind Noche Traviesa.
Eso, that's it.
Yes. Growing up with me would help. So it's a revolving pop-up designed to celebrate the queer and Latino communities through a festive party vibe. Beyond all that, he is simply a joy to be around.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
A trip to New York would not be complete without going to Superbueno and seeing Michael and having one of his the vodka y soda. So, welcome, Michael, to Manning Overboard. What are you drinking, sir?
Thank you so much. So, actually, funny enough, I'm having a cocktail from LA. I have the Troppy Pop can
Yes, Troppy Pop. That's awesome.
In my house, so we're gonna pop it open and enjoy this. It smells so. Oh,
Cheers!
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers,
It's so good. If I haven't got to spend a lot of time in LA enjoying bars as much as I'd like, being from there, but the vodka y soda, which is one of Nacho's cocktails, is so fucking good, and it's makes me so happy.
Yeah. Well, and I just throw out the vodka y soda. I know it's Nacho's, but my God, dude, it's one of the things where it's like, if I'm in New York and I don't have it, I really didn't go to New York.
Try this.
Yeah, it's cool to have that happen now, you know? It's one of those things even now where I'm like, this is the cocktail to have on our menu, and people are always like, but it's a vodka soda. I'm like, but it's not a vodka soda.
No.
But it's not
really not.
Soda.
It's really not. But it is. But it's not.
But it has the guava.
The guava, oh, so good. Tropical fruit all day, baby.
It's so good.
Okay, I gotta say, this
is delightful.
This is super simple, but it's so delicious.
That is phenomenal.
Thank you. So the part of this was to have a hack for a daiquiri, and particularly with daiquiris, and it's always nice to lean on classics, but add some kind of difference. So using the very loose basis of Al Pastor, very, very loose, of pineapple and cilantro, it's a really super refreshing thing. It's going to be drank all the time. And anyone who doesn't like cilantro, you can enjoy it in this drink. It doesn't overpower. It's just the slightest bit to really, really give it that little nice little tick.
that little chef's kiss, that herbal kiss
Hmm.
to it. No, it's
Yeah.
absolutely delicious. Thank you for introducing me to this. I will be
Yeah.
making this
Thank
particularly
you.
since I bought a whole bottle of that Malibu. I've got to now figure out what to do with it. So this is what we'll do.
Work.
That's
Frozen
really
pina
cool. I
coladas,
mean,
baby.
Uh huh.
Frozen pina coladas.
Absolutely,
oh my god,
100%.
yeah, I'm totally down with that. I mean, that's what 20 750 milliliters, so that's plenty of daiquiris to
Plenty
drink
of
this. So
daiquiris to make.
yes,
Yes.
that'll last us for 2 weeks. Anyway,
All right, my
yes,
dear. So why don't you tell us? You started in LA. You're born and
Yeah.
raised in LA. How does
Yeah.
one get from LA to New York? What's your
So
journey?
my journey in life, I was born in Harbor City, California. I am a South Bay kid at heart. I got to a point where I wasn't doing a lot anymore, and I had always wanted to work in hospitality, and I had a friend who has a tattoo studio in LA now,
Okay,
who moved to New York and needed a roommate. And I said, okay, I will come with you. 3 weeks later, I was in New York City in
that's
my first
crazy.
apartment.
wow.
Yeah. 3 weeks later, I run full speed ahead with things, and it's kind of how I still exist. It's been 12 years now, and that it's kind of taking me on this journey of always like wanting to work in hospitality from very young, to coming in, starting in a French bakery that is no longer open here in New York. That was a chain. To working at World's 50 Best Restaurant, to working in a cocktail bar opened by what became a Michelin starred restaurant. A pandemic, teaching Zumba throughout, as well that whole entire time. Taught Zumba during the pandemic when things were closed. And then fast forward to a few years ago, I had been fired from a job I wasn't very happy at. And I had actually, the same day I found out I was no longer going to be working there, I had reached out to Nacho to go open Superbueno. And 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, we were open.
That's
That's crazy.
amazing.
That's so good.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
So he kind of did he? Would you say that he took a chance on you, or did he know your qualifications?
Nacho and I, so I met Nacho when I was working at Cosme,
Okay.
which is the world's 50 best restaurant. He was running Ghost Donkey at the time. I actually met him for the first time when he came into dinner with a friend, and it was my first night working on the point of our bar. And that was our first interaction. And I just loved, he was always so sweet and so kind and just very eloquent and able to communicate very, very well. And the funny thing is, I would go to Ghost Donkey with my team after work, but I would never have a drink. I would never just go have a drink. I'd go and just hang out in the bar with everybody and talk to the people behind the bar. And that my interactions with Nacho were always just like having a short little good conversation. And when I reached out to him, we had a very serious conversation about what I was doing as well. But it was something that was very natural at the end of the day.
Uh huh.
We kind of operate very similarly in how we want people to feel when they're in front of us and how we like give hospitality. So it was a very natural working fit, and it's been a journey for myself as well to grow and learn from him and become better. And yeah, it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
No, that's outstanding. And one of the beautiful things that we love about Super Bueno, other than seeing you, obviously, is just the vibe in there. It's just that energetic Chicano American culture, which we love. Speaking, growing up as Angelino around that Chicano culture is very important to me. It speaks to me very uniquely. But you're an LA native.
Yeah.
So, do you consciously infuse the energy of LA's Chicano culture into the cocktails you create, or whether at Super Bueno or even at your pop up?
So I think at Super Bueno, I have one cocktail on the menu, and it's kind of that one is a very much an influence of things I loved growing up, which are cafe de olla and horchata. My
Yes.
mom started letting me, or my mom's mom rather, started having me drink coffee from when I was 13 years old, and uh, and I Uh, and then I discovered Café de Olla, and it was one of my favorite things, and still is my favorite kind of coffee in the world. And horchata as well. You can go to like so many places, like where there's a soda fountain, they have that horchata ole dispenser.
Yeah.
So like that's a thing as well. There's like, yo, I want to make something that reminds me of this, and I went for it. I think that definitely in naming cocktails, I very much lean into like making little fun jokes in English and in Spanish very, very much. And I think, but there are moments where being Chicano definitely influences how I make a drink. I don't necessarily like go for food and cocktails, but I always kind of take in from those experiences very uniquely tied to being of that identity into beverages at times. It just really depends on the goal I'm going for.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like we've had the coffee, the cafe and horchata drink, and it's delicious.
It's
and
phenomenal.
Thank you.
I can absolutely see where it comes from. Both Rich and I grew up in heavily Hispanic neighborhoods, and horchata was a staple in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm,
it was constant in the giant
Walking
jugs
down
with-
in the shopping cart, walking down the street like on a
Absolutely.
summer day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's very real.
It's very real and very much tied to a lot of people in Southern California and a
Yeah.
lot of people
Yes.
who are in Latin communities. It's a staple.
Yeah, it really just brings a sense of comfort when
Yeah.
we're 3,000 miles away, having that,
Yeah.
and just having that again, just having that vibe, it just brings
Yeah.
me a sense of home and a sense of comfort, and that's wonderful.
Yeah. And that's the kind of the idea for Superbueno as well. It's meant to be on top of the concept of reconciling that Mexican experience and an American experience, and that for Nacho and a few people on our team, that immigrant experience, being able to bring it all together in one space and celebrate everyone for who they are and be able to tie into those good memories. For me, it is a dream being in that space because it's everything I live as every single day. So it's fun. It's really cool.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So you have Super Bueno,
Mhm.
and now you have your pop up.
Yes.
What inspired you to put this pop up together?
Yeah, so Noche Traviesa itself comes from a deeper place of when I was younger growing up, it was always a challenge kind of finding a place to fit in because my mom is Latina and my dad is basically white descent.
Okay.
I kind of always had to have I didn't always feel like I belonged to any part of anything. And then being a gay man, it's not always the most easy thing to find your
Mhm.
people because you face a lot of different things from both in and out of the community. And I've seen it improved a lot as I've grown, and it's really been really incredible. But when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of self-esteem, so I was always trying to create the spaces that I never had. And Noche Traviesa came from that.
Okay.
Noche Traviesa meaning not night of trouble, night of mischief,
Yeah.
naughty night, whatever.
Good trouble.
Nice.
Yeah, the good getting
Love
into
it.
that good trouble is the idea. I wanted to give people the platform that they didn't get outside of Pride or Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month, which it is right now. It's we exist as these people at all times. So I always wanted to be able to create something that other people could come in and celebrate what they do and who they are and in that existence, and then bring everybody together into that space to create that comfort that we all need.
When did you launch this?
So Noche Traviesa will be 2 years old this coming December.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my first pop-up was at the Port of Call in Mystic, Connecticut. It's
Connecticut.
in yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
that's a perfect spot.
it sounds wild. The Port of Call itself is run by a Puerto Rican beverage director, Jade Ayala, and her partner, Renee Tuponce, who has a Puerto Rican stepfather.
Okay.
So it just kind of all worked out. They had a drag show going on, and then I was like, I want to do this pop-up for the first time, this idea of that I've lived in my head for a while here. And the setup there is very different. It's like a dinner show.
Okay.
I make a cocktail menu. They make special food, and it's a seated service, and the queens are running around and having a good time at the same time. The way it exists, as you've seen it at Tails, and the way it exists in most bars, is not that.
No.
Yeah.
It is definitely a lot more chaotic. But Noche Traviesa is turning 2 years this year. At the end, it's really weird to see. I've done now 27 of these pop-ups in the last 22 months.
That's crazy.
27 in the last 22
That's-
months?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Dude,
insane.
how are you so upright? How are you just not keeled over?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think I very much take my personal time to myself. I am very protective of my energy. It sometimes is a challenge to do that because I have to say no to hanging out with people and doing things because I need to take care of myself. And that's something I learned from Ian Griffiths when I worked for him at the Linus pop-up that was here in New York, the good piece of advice that I got from excuse me, was you need to hold on to something for yourself that you don't give to anyone else. And that is what I do partially to try to take care of myself. I have dogs and they rejuvenate me very, very much. I come home and there's so much love and I'm just so grateful for it.
I love seeing
You
your dogs on your Instagram.
Your dogs are great.
Dogs on the Instagram, I love.
Your dogs are almost like the start of your Instagram page. So
I started talking too much, so they just left me here. So they're like, "You're being loud." I'm like, "Fair enough." And the other part of it is, it's like on a very real note, I live with bipolar disorder. So I am on medication now to balance myself out.
Sure.
And it very much like allows me to get everything done that I need to get done and keep a straight ahead on and focus on doing all of the things. And even when I'm super busy, I can recognize when I need rest and when I need help. So I can step back and ask for it and step back and take it. Otherwise, I would just be living in complete chaos.
That's
that's
fantastic.
fantastic. That's great.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
and
you
being
for
honest.
sharing. That's like hugely important. So thank you so much. We honor that. So
working with special education students, I know when you find that right, for lack of a better word, cocktail to help your brain chemistry do what it needs to actually do, it can be beneficial. So I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. That's great.
Thank you. It's important. I want to end the stigma that people have of talking about these things. It's like I grew up in a bar culture and restaurant culture that wasn't necessarily thinking about that or friendly to that or spoke about that. So I'm kind of really wanting to like at least open up the dialogue for people to be like, hey, you can talk about this. I'm not going to judge you for it. No one should, because everybody is going through their own things and everyone's bodies are different. We have to remember that.
Yeah. No one would shame you if you were taking heart medication. Yeah. No one would shame you if you were taking medication for, can't think of it, high cholesterol.
No,
so your brain chemistry needs that assistance.
Yeah, I'm of the age where I take the hat trick for cholesterol and blood pressure and something else. I don't even remember what it was, but I take that too. So it's like that's important, but nobody's like, okay, yeah, you're doing that because you're old. Nobody says that. Nobody would take, oh, you have this condition, and that's the conversation we need to have.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
It's like,
I think it's very important. Just to talk about it. Mental health is important. We're thankful to have resources now to help people when they need it, like focus on health and both physical and mental health. So yeah, I just want to speak more openly about that more regularly, but that's neither here nor there.
We appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing. That's thank you so much. Thank you for trusting us.
Yeah, thank you for trusting us. Exactly.
Of course.
But now, with your accolades that you got Superbueno and the pop-ups you're doing, Noche Traviesa, just are you using that to leverage yourself to get out and talk more about these kind of subjects?
Not just bipolar,
but just
being Latin,
being Latino.
So
queer,
I think very much, I very much am vocal in the spaces that I'm able to be about how we need to be able to celebrate this and be more open with it. There are very loud voices that I wish got a little more highlighted when it's talking about the sometimes lack of these opportunities for people, because they're focused on there's a lot of money involved in everything. So you're like, oh, consumers it's Latin Heritage Month. We need to highlight this person just doing this. Or it's Pride. I need to highlight this person just doing this. And I am thankful to have a platform that I have been trusted with and worked for and everything. And who am I to only use my platform for myself and not raise other people up with me? Yeah. The idea with this industry particularly is that we are moving forward and we are progressing and we are evolving. And if I don't give myself and do my due diligence to help make that happen, we're not going to get anywhere. So I'm very grateful to be able to do that and use Noche Traviesa as that space, bringing in queer Latin bartenders from the market I work in, bringing in drag performers from the market I'm working in, bringing in local artists at times that are there to present what they make in this community-driven space to celebrate them and who they are and build connections that you may not ever have otherwise.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic how every time I see a flyer, I'm always looking like, okay, who's going to be there? Who do I need to follow? Who do I need to support? Because those voices need to be supported and know that there's support out there for them.
And I also
Definitely.
appreciate, Michael, that you said that about just, hey, it's more than just 1 month, because I think with all these months and all these special things, they mean well, but the problem is that there are some groups like corporate America is notorious for this. Is like, okay, let's focus on our energy and we're going to care about these people, this group, for 1 month, and the 11th
Yeah.
month we don't give a shit, and that's the problem. And so what you're doing, Michael, is incredibly crucial to getting that word out that you live this way 365 days a year, and that
Yes.
support, that structure needs to be in place for you 365 days, not 30 days.
Correct. On a very local level, I'm very thankful to work with brand partners who are understanding of that and support me out all the time. And I'm very lucky that I get to do that and present myself and present these things, because it wouldn't happen without any of them. And it's from that lower level that you affect change on a larger level.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing examples of it in our last few days. But it's super important to recognize that if you start from that lower level and you build up the voice there, together yelling, we're going to make more noise. So it's a way we can make things change on a higher level.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Cheers
Absolutely.
to you, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cheers. That's cheers worthy.
That is cheers worthy, most definitely.
Delightful.
So what is the long-term goal for Noche Traviesa?
Noche Traviesa.
Noche
No,
Traviesa.
eso.
Esos.
So
Traviesos.
the long-term goal is I would like to be able to bring people to World's 50 Best and do this sometime. I
Okay.
think that's kind of like one of my larger goals. Doing it at Tails was a stepping stone and a really cool thing to get to do on a global stage, but going to World's 50 Best Bars and doing it would be great. That's one of the more basic, like, me, oh my God, this would be so cool things. But long term, I want to be able to grow this to a point where maybe I'm able to have people do this even if I'm not there, and
Okay.
like build this concept. I'm happy to organize it for them when I can't make it. I also plan on opening my own bar one day, so
Sure.
Noche Traviesa will exist in the space. It won't be the space, but it will exist in the space.
It will continue to be a pop-up within the space.
That's
Correct.
great.
Yes, I don't. It's going to be very interesting to see it happen, especially when I open here, likely in New York, as we have a lot of younger people in this industry who don't always necessarily get to participate in these things. I'd like to be a rotating day of the week situation, maybe every few weeks, once on a Monday, once on a Tuesday, once on a Wednesday, so on and so forth. Because when you're younger in this industry, we don't talk about scheduling very often between each other in conversations. But when you're younger, you're generally working the weekends, or you're off on the weekends, excuse me, because you are younger. You're off
Still
Friday,
learning.
Saturday, and you're not able to work. So you have your peers that you can grow up with and be showcased to your peers on those days of the week. So that's kind of the longer term goal in the space, to make that happen.
That's
Excellent.
amazing.
That's super cool. Obviously, when you do get to that spot, when you do open your own space, we'll be there to support, because
You'll get an invite to friends and family.
yeah, you know that how much we love you, so that's
I'm
great.
grateful for you guys.
I know you mentioned about how you like to do play on words with different cocktails and stuff like that. So I was doing my research today, and I came across a drink that you created called the Toki Berra,
Toki Berra, so
which
that
is like the perfect New York drink, because I think I immediately thought, oh, play a Yogi Berra, that's incredible. But then I saw that you're using Calpico, so and I know that you've earned a bit of a reputation for creating kind of bold drinks that go outside the box, and the Toki Berra is kind of that example of that. So, how much does that come from being a bartender in New York, or just does that come from just being who you are, just being creative and saying, fuck it, let's just push the envelope?
I'm definitely a creative person. That name That name did not definitely come from myself, unfortunately. I was like, oh yeah, I heard it. So my old boss came up with that particular name.
Okay.
But the cocktail itself, but I remember presenting that drink particularly thinking of like, yeah, I want to make a coconut, a Calpico inspired beverage. I want to use coconut yogurt. I want to use matcha and yuzu and whiskey. And I got looked at crazy. I got looked at crazy by my boss. And when I was making the menu for this space, as I had taken over and I was putting forward this menu with him, and there was no notes. I served them the drink, and they're like, "Perfect, beautiful."
Wow.
And
That's
I
awesome.
was like, "Win!"
Nailed
The drink. The drink was, I think, probably one of the first $20 cocktails in New York before cocktails were $20 in New York because
it.
it
Okay.
was not cheap to make.
Sure.
And I have since learned how to cost beverages better and make drinks that make sense that way. But but I'm a very creative person. I think one way I kind of can express that to you is a part of Noche Traviesa during Christmas. I now do a thing I like to call it Navidad,
Yeah.
because Spanish is Navidad.
Yes.
So daddy can be anybody. So
Yes.
Navidad, and that's kind
Navidad.
of like the stupid play on words that I make, the kind of things when I do cocktails.
I love that.
I made some really crazy references with drink names that are very specific, and I will not repeat right now. But if you read them on the menu, you're like, they're just like, that's hilarious. I'm like, it is, isn't it?
On the nose. Nailed
Yeah, yeah.
Ya vámonos, perras. That's what I say. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So if you ever want to like do create a cocktail and actually earn credit for a Yankees reference, just create something called the Thirsty Muffin.
That what? Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
what?
Yeah,
Like, what?
Thurman Munson, Hall of Fame catcher for the Yankees, died in a plane crash.
Slow down again. What was that?
Thurman Munson,
Thurman Munson.
Hall of Fame Yankee catcher, died in a plane crash in 1978.
And what was the title you suggested?
The Thirsty Munson.
The Thirsty Munson.
Yes. If you're
Oh.
my age, you will absolutely love that reference.
If you're his age.
Heard chef.
Or if you're a
Heard
hardcore,
chef. He's like,
hardcore
I
Yankee
don't
fan.
know how old he is, however.
If you're a hardcore Yankee fan, you get that. If you're a Mets fan, well, just remember the cocaine plane ride in Queens in '86. Anyway.
Work.
Moving on. Get this. Where do you see where? Well, we already talked about wanting to do it in 50 best. What are your plans for the coming year? We are coming. 2026 is barreling down on us very quickly. What are your goals and plans for the next year? You have like this year. I'm assuming has almost exceeded your expectations. So what is it that you want to accomplish next?
I think the things I want to accomplish next year, first off, for myself, make more time to go explore the world on my own a little bit more and not be working when I'm
Sure.
traveling.
Yes.
I very much love to work and I very much love to travel, but I definitely want to set aside more time to go visit places that will just be to feed my soul. So I would love to go to South Korea if anyone yeah, Seoul, South Korea. So I am a huge K-pop fan and have been for the last 15 years. So I very much want to be able to go spend time there, go to a few music shows. I really want to make it to Singapore in the next year as well. It is a food dream for me. So go do that and probably spend more time with with my nephews back in LA as well. I think personally that's that. Professionally, I definitely want to continue to see Noche Traviesa continue to grow. I'm working on doing more pop-ups under the name of my bar, which is Dum Dum, leaning into the ridiculousness of presentation of flavors and beverages, but not taking myself seriously with it. Like, yeah, it's just a dumb drink.
Yeah.
And people enjoying that thing. And that comes from the ethos of even when we eat a plate of food and we're like, this is stupid. Or we're drinking a drink, you're like, this is so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It means something really great. So that's where that ethos will come from. I would like to finish my business plan and my prospectus for my bar so that I can get things more going. And I'd like to continue to enjoy Superbueno for that time that I'm there and keep helping us grow as a team. And I'd also like to become more of a mentor to younger bartenders and younger humans in our industry. Um, I'm pretty available, and I very much help. I help people where I can, and I want to make myself more available, become more of a resource. So
Okay.
in that air, on top of just being able to mentor someone directly, I'd love to be able to give more seminars and give more education. I really enjoy teaching people the knowledge that I do have, hopefully something useful to them, something a little more practical. There's so much education in the industry, but sometimes we don't always get that. We want to learn information we're not always taught. So I just did a pop-up seminar with Izzy Tulloch, who we know and love very, very well. And
Yes.
with Montenegro, Tad Carducci sponsored it at Tiki by
Oh,
the Sea. And kind of that kind of information was very, very, very taken in well. And people were very grateful to hear that stuff. So that's the kind of things I'd like to be able to share with people.
I love that.
that's incredible.
It sounds like you
Yeah.
have some great plans. It sounds like we were lucky to meet 3 tales ago,
Something like that.
yeah, 3 tales ago, and I think it's just kind of, it's been great to be able to watch your star just continue to rise.
It's great to just hear how 2026 you're going to be popping off, man. It's going to be just incredible.
It's cool. I'm definitely taking it all a day at a time. I am very much shocked and amazed at how many things I've gotten to do, and I very much believe in manifestation, but also putting in hard work and the amount of things I've written down that have come to pass. So I am very much looking forward to seeing how that continues to happen over the next year or so.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can't see anybody or anything getting in the way of you because you're just such a force, and you're a force for good. That's the other important thing too. Lord knows we
Thank
need
you.
forces for good now, and so
Absolutely.
you really fit that bill.
I'm actually an agent of chaos, if you didn't know.
Yeah, oh no, you are in the
I love that.
D&D
I
world,
love
Michael.
that.
You are definitely chaotic good.
Chaotic
Thank you.
goodness.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Well, sadly, we have come to the end of our talk today, our
Boo.
interview. Boo.
Yeah, boo. Yeah, exactly.
But before we say goodbye, we always love to get a bartender's perspective on their city and where they are living at right now. So we call it our last call questions, because if we
Art
were at the
chef.
bar,
we would be talking to you and asking you these very same things. In fact, I think we may have asked you some of these before. So,
I think so. At the bar.
yeah.
So, one quick question, Michael. Where in New York do you live at?
I live in Harlem.
We're at Harlem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
All right. So we're sitting at the bar. I'm new to the city, Michael. After a cocktail here at Superbueno, where should I go next?
I would be sending you to Bar Snack. It is very close to Superbueno. And I would be ordering a spice bag. And I would also be ordering either one of their fantastic glasses of wine that they have or their salad Negroni. Their salad Negroni is probably one of my favorite Negroni variations in New York. I would probably also send you, oh my gosh, I would send you to my favorite bus spot as well in Chinatown to go get some food after you were done having a little snacky. And at Pho Bang in Chinatown on Mott Street, it's my favorite place to eat in New York. It is my comfort meal.
I love that.
Fantastic. That's great.
All right. Speaking of food,
Yes.
we're in the neighborhood. Where do we go for a good burger?
Mr. Paradise has probably one of my favorite burgers in the city.
Okay.
It's one of the few burgers I eat with pickles because I do like pickled things. I don't like pickles most of the time. So Mr. Paradise would be my answer for the burger.
Okay. If I have an afternoon to kill in New York, and I realize there are 1,000 things to do in New York, but have an afternoon to kill, what would you suggest I do?
If I was going to bars and restaurants, I would stay in the Flatiron area. You'll get to see the Flatiron building and enjoy that. Grab a sandwich at the S&P lunch counter, which was Eisenberg's, which is where Izzy did her pop-up, a bar called Pancakes for the first time. I would go to Nomad Tea Parlor for dinner after having some drinks at Clemente and 11 Madison Park, which is my favorite bar to sit at in the city. And then probably finish my night at George Bang Bang. Also, the Museum of Sex is there, and it's also a really cool museum to check out and a very interesting little space. So I'd probably tell you to go enjoy that also.
Fine.
Fantastic. No, I'll second your recommendation for Nomad Tea Parlor. The food there is incredible. Great time.
It's so
great
good.
program.
currently on Superbueno's menu, what is a cocktail I should not miss?
The vodka soda.
The vodka soda. 100%.
It's
I agree with you
sorry.
completely. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Yes. If you go to Superbueno, you have to get the vodka soda.
You
Like
do.
it's a non-negotiable. It's literally for me, it's a non-negotiable every time we're in the city.
Yeah, it is one of the few, because for our travels, we have a few cocktails that are like, yeah, that's definitely a non-negotiable. Vodka soda's 100% on that list, probably on the top.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then lastly, it's time to end the night. Where am I going to go for a good beer and a shot?
If you're in Brooklyn, I would send you to the Commodore.
Okay.
If we were at Superbueno, I would send you to DBA up the block or to Romeo's, depending on how far you want to walk.
Okay.
All right.
I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
And thank you so much, Michael, for being part of Manning Overboard today. I hope you had as much fun as we did having you. Oh my gosh, it's always such a joy to talk to you, man.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for giving me the time and the patience.
Oh, hell yeah, of course. Now, if people want to follow you on the socials, where could they find you at?
You can follow my personal Instagram at Michael Travieso, MIICHAL_TR4VIESO, or you can follow the Noche Traviesa Instagram. I will let you find it in the description because it is a lot to try and repeat. And you can also
Indeed, yes, fair.
Or you can follow the bar dum.dum.bar on Instagram as well.
Awesome.
I will be looking out for that because I didn't know about that little bit of
good
information.
To know, yes.
So I'm excited about
It's making its way out there slowly. I'm letting people know that's the name of the bar so that if anyone tries it, they're like, this is my concept. Good luck.
Don't be a dum-dum. This is my dum-dum.
Yeah, exactly. So, and remember, kids, we can be found at Manning Overboard on Instagram or at manningoverboard@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments you want to send to us. Thank you all for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on our next happy hour. Cheers.
Ciao, y'all. Bye. Salud.
Salud, yes.
Manning Overboard, Happy Hour with Hotcakes and the Captain is produced and distributed by EatsDrinksTV.
A service of the nonprofit Center for Culinary Culture, home of the cocktail collection,
the Center for Culinary Culture,
telling the story of food and drink, one taste at a time.